The Secret Service's acting director, Ronald Rowe, also said a similar sentiment. He said that Donald Trump is receiving the highest levels of protections from the Secret Service. Do you think that's true? A, you're kind of saying right now you don't really believe that, but B, do you think that's enough?
Well, if that's the truth, they're inept. I just don't believe it. I believe you've got some real patriots that work in these departments, but you've got real bureaucrats that have kissed somebody's butt to get to where they are and are not qualified. And I think that's what they bring before Congress and think that they can buffalo us. And they do a pretty good job of it, really. I worry about our own members being compromised because they don't turn up the heat on this. This is pathetic. Either party ought to be on the floor of the House right now. The people that can stop this nonsense ought to be up there, but they're not. And you got to ask yourself why.
Who are these bureaucrats that you're saying specifically?
Well, the directors of these departments. You're saying, the last one, she quit in disgrace, couldn't answer a question or wouldn't answer. I suspect it's a combination of both. She was probably afraid of getting sued or some other retribution brought down on her. And then you bring this guy in, and he's at a press conference, and he says it's not a situation of resources, but then he talks about needing more resources. So it's the classic Washington bureaucracy. You hear what you want to hear, and it's never going to change until you change the bureaucracy. We've talked to whistleblowers off the record, and they tell just what a rat's nest it is, and the way to get to the top is not by achieving. It's a different process, and it's unfortunate. That's I always say, put the best player in, coach. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. But, again, I go back to the first shooting attempt they grazed the President Trump. People couldn't put their guns in their holsters, and instead of being on top of the pile to block the president, they were hiding behind the pile. And that's not their job. Their job is to take a bullet for the president, and that's their job. If you don't want to do it, it's not a draft. They volunteer to get there, and there used to be a process to get there, and that process, I think, has been damaged. So I think we need to get back to just putting the best players in.